Coming up,
I don't know. For me, I really need to feel a little something. I need to like feel like my fanny twinge or something.
yeah.
Or like my nipple tingle. And I just didn't.
Is that a thing? He shook my hand.
Oh,
and I was,
no.
And they were tiny.
Ooh, gross.
Like T-Rex sounds. I had one boyfriend that I used to like lie and stare at him.
Oh, I hope that he just combusts.
And I'd be like, and then I'd get so angry that I'd squeeze his nose. And then he'd wake up and I'd be like that. And then he'd start doing it again. And I'd just
actually
like
how you suffocate someone.
I'd wallop him. And then I'd like pretend I was sleeping again. Hey guys, I'm Danny.
And I'm Alex.
And welcome back to Date, Delete, Repeat,
where we talk about all our dilemmas in dating,
all our disasters, and basically overshare on everything.
Why are we doing this again?
I don't know. So how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. What have you been up to?
Well, it has been an interesting week.
Have you been on any dates?
I have, yeah. I've been on one date.
Go on.
With a fireman.
Oh.
A
I
man
like
in
that.
uniform.
I love that. Well, I told you I tried to join uniform dating once and they wouldn't let me on.
Why?
Because I'm not in a uniform, probably. I don't know. They just wouldn't let me on. It was a while ago. But anyway, tell me about your day.
Yeah, so met through a friend of a friend, and then we started gaming together because, you know, disclaimer, I do love to game.
This is mental.
And then, yeah, we met up and...
Sorry, wait a minute. How do you meet someone through gaming? Like, I do not know how this works. I do not understand.
Okay, well,
wait, you sit on your Nintendos and call each other?
PS5.
PS, whatever. So that's how long it's been.
And it was through a friend of a friend, and then they connected us, and it was because we gamed that they connected us. So then we gamed together.
What, in the same room or like online?
No, online.
Oh my God, what is the world coming to? This kills me. This is like, how old are you?
32, and I like to play Call of Duty.
This is mad.
So we're shooting away, and and then we decided that we would meet up, and we did. Now, I was really skeptical about the height situation because if you're not on a dating website, how do you know someone's height? People don't have it on their socials. I really think it should be a thing, and people should list their height on their socials, because I'm a tall girly and I can't be turning up and you're telling me you're 5'10" and really you're 5'8". You can't even really be 5'10".
It's hard.
I need you to be 6 foot minimum.
It's hard because the other side of it is it shouldn't really matter. And it won't. The thing is, it won't to most people. But when you're exceptionally tall, you are exceptionally tall.
I
we're pretty tall.
I did date someone that was shorter than me once, but because he was like 18 years older than me, I didn't care because he was so like uncaring.
He made up for it in experience. No, yes. But I feel you. I dated a rugby player for a while who was the same height as me, but he made up for it in width, so I still felt small next to him. It's the thing.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I was really skeptical about this, and then I was like about to meet him, and I was thinking, oh my God, what if he's shorter than me? He wasn't. He was like a smidge taller, but if I had heels on, like these chunky bad boys, I'd be towering over him.
Yeah.
And he also wears like a certain type of shoe.
Oh yeah, he's a Nike Air Maxer, is he? they love a Nike Air Max. The short kings.
I didn't know this was a thing until I told you, and then you were like, "Yeah, any guy that wears an Air Max 90 is like trying to be taller." But I wear Air Max 90s not to be taller, just because I love an Air Max 90.
Do you know my little sister actually gave me in trouble the other week? She's banned me from wearing chunky white trainers because apparently they're not cool anymore. I think they're cool.
What type of chunky white trainer are you doing?
Nike Air Max.
Babe, I love a Nike Air Max.
Apparently they're not cool anymore. I don't know what.
I think Air Max 90 is iconic.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Anyway, go on about the
Yeah,
date.
so because of that, you were then like, oh, you can't date anybody that wears those because they're trying to be taller. And I was like, okay. Anyway, it was a fine date, I guess. Like, the chat was good, but I wasn't feeling it. And then this just reminds me, like, oh, you don't always feel a spark straight away. But I don't know. For me, I really need to feel a little something. I need to like feel like my fanny twinge or something.
Yeah.
Or like my nipple tingle. And I just didn't.
Is that a thing? Do your nipples tingle?
Yeah.
Really?
Do yours not?
No. Should they?
Ever?
I don't know. Touching my nipples. No, but who gets a tingle in
like
their
a little flutter between your legs.
Yeah, I get
or like
that one.
a little tingle.
Yeah.
And I also like would be helpful if you wanted to rip people's clothes off.
Okay, so you didn't get the tingles, but what happened?
Well, we just had a really nice date.
Did you snog him?
No.
Oh,
He
you
did
snog everyone. That's so sad.
don't out me like this. He did peck me, and I was a bit like,
Oh,
but I didn't want to then snog him.
So it was just like, see you later.
Yeah, and then obviously that was that. And
Did you let him down gently? Have you ghosted him?
I'd say yes, I did, but I probably didn't.
Okay, so
I just like things to fizzle.
That's a
I just like
shame.
things to fizzle away. I like things to just go away by themselves.
Yeah, just like slowly message less and less.
And then just not reply ever.
Well, my friend set me up on a date and she was like, you're really going to like this guy because he's in telly. He's a bit of you. He's really, we really have height issues, don't we? She also was like, yeah, he's really tall. And anyway, I got to the date. This always happens to me. She was like, I think he's 6'3". I was like, cool, perfect.
No, what was he, 5'2"?
Well, I got there, but you know, I've got a hands thing as well.
Yeah, I do.
Like the first,
I get that though.
he stood. Well, we'll come back to that. But he stood up and he was like my height. But then he shook my hand.
Oh,
and I was,
no!
And they were tiny.
Ooh, gross!
Like T-Rex hands.
Gross.
I feel so sorry for anyone with small hands. On that though, I do not think it is an accurate representation of someone's penis. But
I showed you a picture
I'll tell
of
you
someone
what
the
it
other
is.
day, and you said, "Oh my god, look at the size of his hands." That's not even what I was thinking.
No, but if they've got meaty hands, it's a good sign. I always, when I'm watching the telly, if someone's got big hands, I'm like, yes, he's got.
Do you?
Yeah, but do you know what is I find is more accurate actually about that is someone's nose. I've never met a man who's got a small willy that's got a big nose.
What the? Hold on. Someone has got a small willy with a big nose?
No, if they've got a big nose, they always have a big willy.
I'm thinking about people's noses now, and actually, do you know what? You might be onto something.
I am 100% onto something.
I think
it's a fact.
I think you could be right.
I know. It's true. Anyway, he had tiny hands. We had a nice time. I did the classic thing that I always do, and I felt bad because he was so nice and he'd made the effort and he booked somewhere nice, and so I sat and entertained him for the whole night. Actually, way later than I should have, and then left.
See, the fact that you sit down and
I should have just left straight away.
I just can't. I couldn't.
I find it very icky if someone's not into the same stuff that I am. The things that the lifestyle things like. I like to be with someone who can do some of the activities that I really love.
Right.
Like, you know, I love wild swimming and running up hills. And
babe,
I'm the opposite of you, who likes to lie on the sofa and watch EastEnders.
I would say this. Like, I don't think there's a day that goes by when you're like, should we go for a walk and get our step count in? No, Danny, it's no again.
You literally say no every time.
I say no
it's funny.
every time.
Okay, so our icks are probably going to be completely the opposite. What are your icks?
Oh my god, I've got so many.
Do you have a list on your phone?
Probably.
Don't tell me you're one of those girls.
No, I think I just mentally know. Like, do you know what? Sometimes it can not even be like a specific thing, but they could just do something and instantly I'm off. And like when I'm off, I'm just like so off. Like if you put me off, like I can't go near you.
I can tell you mine. Someone who bites their nails.
Oh yeah, that's disgusting.
Handle it. Someone who eats with their mouth open. Someone who eats noisily.
Disgusting.
Someone who snores.
Disgusting.
Someone who's got hair in their ears.
But snores. That is like sometimes.
No, not unless you're drunk. Then we'll make an exception.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Are you telling
shame.
me you like snoring?
I don't like it. No, it pisses me off. Like it honestly really grates me. Like I actually feel rage inside me. Like I want to suffocate the person.
Literally, do you know? I've hurt people.
Yeah, no,
like,
I actually hurt someone last week. I literally whacked him so hard. I was just actually so over it.
Yeah, fair. I mean, I honestly, I had one boyfriend that I used to like lie and stare at him.
Well, I hope that he just combusts.
And I'd be like, and then I'd get so angry that I'd squeeze his nose. And then he'd wake up and I'd be like that. And then he'd start doing it again. And
That's
I'd just
actually
like
how you suffocate someone.
I'd wallop him. And then I'd like pretend I was sleeping again.
Yeah, I would say another ick is just like poor hygiene. Like you need to be looking after yourself. You need to be washing. Like body odor, I cannot. Also, an ick is men's shoes.
Oh,
Like if I look at a man's shoes and they are not a shoe I think is nice. I just cannot. I always look at their feet.
But you can change their shoes, babe.
Nah, I'm sorry, but like you're wearing, I can't even name it because it's going to sound so horrible.
Age appropriate daddy, he wears really bad shoes.
Like what? Like a Ben Sherman?
Like old bashed up Nike black trainers.
At least they're Nike though, mate.
No, but they're not very nice. But I don't mind because you can
like
change
Nike
those
from
things.
like the outlet store, not the main store. That vibe. Like that's disgusting, isn't it? That's
You're
just
brutal.
That's just so cheap.
Oh,
I can't with that. Nice shoes, nice clothes. You need to dress good. Like I can't be seeing you in unbranded sneakers. I can't do it.
But what if they can't afford them?
Then we're not going out on a date anyway, are we?
Yeah, because you need to be paid for.
Exactly. So
She's bought.
there's no way we're going out on a date anyway. Unbranded shoes, I can't. Poor hygiene.
Poor hygiene's a bad one. Well, a good one, but a bad one.
And you don't like dogs.
That's the biggest. That is the.
If you tell me you don't like dogs and you're a cat person, oh my God, get out.
If somebody doesn't like animals, and specifically dogs.
Or that.
Also, if they don't like the countryside, that's a massive ick.
I'm not that fussed about that.
Do you know the sexiest thing in the whole world is a man in a pair of wellies and shorts? Oh my God.
I'm going to go shorts and flip-flops on a beach. That's more me.
I'm like cleaning the garden or like watering the plants with a hose and your wellies and shorts on.
No. And I think another ick is also just like having someone that's not assertive. Oh, I can't deal with someone who's got like this like weak energy.
Yeah,
like,
you've been getting a lot of that recently, haven't you?
Yeah, and it's like from men and women. Like, what is this weak energy? So girls give me different icks. I mean, obviously, poor hygiene's still an ick, no matter what.
Yeah, no one wants to
you
smelly
identify
vag.
as. But yeah, we were going on we weren't going on a date really. We were basically just going to go back to mine.
So you were going to hook up?
I guess. And she's so fit. Like, she's so fit. And you
What's
think...
she like?
I've actually shown you a picture before. And she's got really dark hair.
They all have dark hair.
They
Wow.
do actually, and obviously she's got a really great physique.
Yeah, they all have
that too. And the energy when we were chatting was like really vibing, and I thought, oh yeah, okay, this is a bit of me. And then we went and did like a supermarket shop to get some bits to like eat at home and have a drink and whatever. And she didn't carry the basket, and that for me was done.
So you want to be you want to be like the more feminine character,
even though I have a big fat masculine energy. Yes, but
you were gonna say fatty.
Even though I've got a big fat masculine energy, I like someone to be able to bring out my feminine energy. And if you can't, we've got a real issue because I'm just going to dominate and I will like run the house. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to be the person that like walks all over you, because I will. If I can, I will, and I'll own that.
So whether it's a man or a woman, you need them to have the masculine energy.
I need you to be assertive. I like to use that word. Be assertive, take the lead a little bit, and like do those things like, yeah, open the door for me.
Okay,
I think I've said this before to you as well. Like, I really like those little things. Like, if you're not opening the door for me or pulling out my chair, or brushing my hair before bed, like
brushing your hair before bed.
Look, it's a really rogue one, okay?
Wow.
But I do like to test the boundary, and I like to say, do you want to brush my hair? And if they say yes, I'm like, oh.
The biggest ick actually ever. I dated this guy for a while. He's British, but he was living in Australia and he moved over here, apparently to be with me.
You've got all these men moving all around for you.
So it was, but anyway, he all the time would be on Instagram. Like, he'd be like, hey guys, so today, no. I'm like, who are you actually talking to?
But he's got like 2 followers.
Yeah, and he just really see, there was a pattern for a long time of me just getting with guys who really fancy themselves.
Ew.
And now I'm so repulsed by all of them.
That can't be any good for self-esteem though, when they're like that.
No, it's not. It ruined me. I'm better now, but it ruined me for a while.
Good. No one is perfect, okay? And naturally, everybody does have a red flag, me included.
What's your red flag?
I've probably got a few. I don't want to air them out.
Fair.
You probably know them anyway. And I think I've noticed that there's a whole thing around like love bombing.
Oh my God, I've been love bombed so hard so many times.
Right, same. And you think it's like so perfect and so amazing. And you end up getting into these situationships where it's like a 2-month, 3-month thing because it's so nice and they're doing everything you want and everything you need. And then all of a sudden it becomes 3 months and all of a sudden they are literally a and they become the real them. They show who they are.
I do totally know what you mean. I got love bombed really hard by someone, I think 2 summers ago. One of the younger guys that I dated, and he we had a really cute way of meeting. We met at a Scottish event in London.
Cute.
And obviously tall, dark, handsome at a Scottish event, gorgeous. I was like, oh God, this is dreamy. I love the idea of being with a Scottish guy. And he when he got in touch a little while later, we started dating, but it was love bomb. It was just love bombing all
Flowers,
over.
chocolates.
Just talking about moving to London to be with me.
Oh wow, that's big.
If I got pregnant, we should just keep it. You don't say.
He out here trying to trap you.
You do not say stuff like that unless you really mean it, and he really did not mean it. And obviously,
I wonder if he says that to everyone.
Oh hell, I don't know. Anyway, we even went on holiday together. And about a week later, he just called me and he's like, sorry, I really don't want to. I think I'm just going to let you down. And I was like, what? And the night before, or a few nights before, I had basically said to him, I checked him on something. He'd lied a little bit about something and it was really obvious. And so I pulled him up on it. And I was like, look, I don't really know why you did that, but you don't need to do that. And just don't do that, basically.
And I guess he didn't like it.
And he obviously didn't like being checked on it. And then the next day I get this call being like, I feel like I'm just going to let you down. And I was like, what does that mean? And he's like, well, I'm just going to keep letting you down, because he felt like he'd let me down by me checking him on something. And then I was like, so by you saying you're worried that you're going to let me down, is this you literally letting me down?
Yeah, 100%.
And we literally never spoke again after him talking about moving in the week before.
Babe, I had a similar situation. I'd met this guy and we were talking for a bit, and then we spent a whole weekend together. It was romantic as it comes, yeah? And it was the flowers, chocolates, dinner, he paid for everything, and then he leaves and we go our separate ways after a weekend of amazingness, and we're texting away and everything's going great, and he's like, we should go away on holiday, let me know if you're free in the next 2 weeks. Yep, I am. And then he calls me and he's like, yeah, so I don't think this is gonna work. I said, what do you mean this isn't going to work? What, the holiday dates? He's like, yeah, no, this isn't going to work. Take care, innit?
What?
Take care, innit? Sorry. I actually have a group chat called Take Care, innit? And it's with the girls. And it's where we basically at the time. But
that's so just like that.
Just like that. I'm like, what the hell happened? And I think, no, you're a psychopath. I was actually really upset because it was at a time when I wasn't very confident with my body or with myself. And I was kind of going through this phase of really finding out who I was as a person. And it massively affected me. And I actually sobbed for days because I felt used. I felt so used.
That's the thing, you probably were. I felt like that.
Yeah,
as well.
I probably was. Yeah, 100%.
It's to fill them up, feed their ego,
but why
or whatever.
Bother?
So yeah, the love bombing, it's weird though, because
it's just bizarre.
I don't think it's something girls do, because we know that if we show too much affection too quickly, that it scares guys away.
Yeah.
So it's really is a guy thing, and it's a new thing that I don't think it used to happen.
It's the biggest red flag ever, but it's again, you can't really see it straight up. It's one of those things where you think, okay, they're being nice, but is this love bombing, or are they actually just a nice person?
What would our red flags be?
I know what mine is.
What is it?
People would probably say I am too on it, but that's just because I'm organized. My life moves at 1,000 miles an hour and it is such chaos, so unless it's in the diary, it's not happening, and you know this.
You get very touchy about things in the diary. She likes a diary entry.
I do.
And it must be done in good time, and it must have all the details. There can't be anything last minute, or Alex gets very stressed out.
But I think
babe, I can't deal with this.
I was a personal assistant for years, and I think it's just drummed into me that unless that is in the diary, it doesn't happen. And it was I would be told off, and get an absolute bollocking if I'm not putting things in the diary. So I run my life like that too. And I think that's probably one thing is that I've had it before. It's you're a bit uptight, and I don't know if I'd say I'm uptight, but it's just I like things to be organised and a certain way. If things are out of place at home, I just can't with the mess. You know, I hoover a
I
lot.
feel you on that one.
Yeah, I hoover like 3 times a day. I like to clean. I like to change the bed twice a week. Like, I'd like to do all these things, and maybe they are red flags because it's too clean or too organized. I don't know. Is it? You'd marry me.
I'd marry you. I love that. But no,
I'd say another red flag someone's told me is the fact that I am like a present on, like, have an online presence. Apparently that's a red flag.
yeah, I've had guys say that to me as well.
That's actually an insecurity on their part. They're insecure
But you
about
say
what
that,
I'm
babe.
doing.
But you say that, but
some reason.
I way prefer a man who's got who hate
Same.
like
if I meet you and you say you've got no social media, I'm like, tick,
literally.
big fat tick.
Yeah, get off the gram.
So I think like red flags is obviously a massive thing for everyone, and it's like such a hot topic that people love to shout about. But I think what people tend to not realize is that cheating is the biggest one.
Well, no, it's not a red flag. It's like, you're done. See ya.
But some people don't know. Have you ever been cheated on?
Yes.
Have you ever cheated?
Have I cheated? Have I cheated? Have I cheated? Oh my gosh, not in my adult life.
Okay, and
I'm very, very moral, babe.
Yeah, I know you are. And have you ever been the cheatee? So the person that's being cheated with?
Yeah. So you remember I had that accident a couple of years ago? I was dating this guy who I had met in the street, the Scottish guy, and I was like, oh my God, really liked him. And we started seeing each other. And after a while, he told me that he was having this long distance relationship, but he hadn't seen her in ages.
Right.
He thought he was he told me that he thought he was falling in love with me and that he was going to end it with her. And he told me that he'd ended it with her. I had that accident, and just for everyone else, like I was pretty bad. My face got smashed in. I had fractured nose, my lip was hanging off, I had stitches on my face, and this guy was with me when it happened. So I spent the night in hospital. He stayed with me.
Okay.
And I had concussion, and it lasted like 3 weeks. I was a mess. But the day after the accident, he sent me a text message saying that he'd made a mistake and he was going back with this girl. And it turns out like he'd never ended it with her in the first place.
Cool.
So
he just wanted to like dip his wick somewhere else to see how it was like.
Do you know how close I was? I drafted a message to her because I was like, this guy's, we've been doing this for like 3 or 4 months. Like, you've been with him for years. He's lying to you. I just didn't want him to get away with it. And I so nearly sent her a message, but I didn't in the end. But yeah, so I kind of was there. I also, yeah, I mean, I've been cheated on as well. That one really stung because it was really good. I really, really, really liked him. I really thought it was going to be something. And then I went away to film for 3 weeks. And while I was away, he sort of started being a bit weird and was like making it out like it was hard for him because I was traveling so much. I was like, it's a 3-week shoot. Anyway, got back, things were really weird. Like, saw him, we had slept together, then he didn't show up for the next date. Like, there's just like weird behaviors. Turned on the telly a month later and he was snogging someone on a reality TV show. I was like, you absolute
Why do they always do that?
But also, do you really think I'm not going to find out?
Yeah, do you know what it is for me is that if you don't want to be with someone, just don't be with them.
I also know some girls whose boyfriends have cheated on them for years and they know it and they don't care. Have you been cheated on?
Yeah.
Like many times? Or
I was actually cheated on by someone that was addicted to sex and addicted to hiring escorts behind my back when I wasn't there.
Wow. Okay, how did you find out?
Through the messages on his phone.
So were they to an escort or?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's grim.
And it was asking how much for an hour.
Yeah. Oh no, that's so disgusting.
In my house.
Do you know what? Then at that point, it becomes like a hygiene thing as well. You're like,
well, that's just like 2 or 3 I'd found. And you think, well, how long has this been actually happening? And how many have been going on behind my back?
Yeah.
And then it's also the question of sexual health.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Hygiene is gross.
Do you need to be checked? What's going on? You know. Yeah. You know, they say they use condoms, but do they? And listen, I'm actually like not against anyone that works in the sex industry. I think you do what you do and you make your money. And if you're taking these guys for a ride, literally, and getting paid to do it, absolutely own it. It's not on them. It's on the person that's committing that. Yeah. And doing the cheating.
But that is brutal for you to find that out. Like,
yeah,
you know, like, oh, It's just
It's
a bit
disgusting.
grim. It is grim. But I don't know,
And it's damaging. Again, this is what I mean. It goes back to that point of like, what, like, it makes you feel that you're not good enough, and like, why don't you want to have sex with me, or why am I not enough for you?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's brutal. That will definitely dent your confidence. I just think
massively.
some people have just got such balls as well. Like they do it so like underneath people's noses. Like I was at a wedding once.
Yeah, they do.
Where this guy's partner went to bed and he tried on with me when she went to bed. Wanted to like get me on the beach. I was like,
what is that?
are you all right?
And you know what? People like that, I think you obviously do this all the time. Yeah, there's no way you're just doing it as a one-off now.
No, it is actually brutal. So have you ever cheated, babe?
No.
Oh, I love that.
Shocks you, doesn't it?
A little bit. Like I definitely thought you had.
Because my behaviour can be a bit wild.
But no, because you're free and
I think I'm very free spirited, and I think people would probably assume that I just kind of don't have a heart, but actually when I give my all to you, and you should know this, in a friendship I'm like that as well as a relationship, when I give you all of me, you get all of me.
Yeah, I love that you've not cheated. I mean, I love that we're morally aligned on that, so I can introduce you to a boyfriend when I get one, if I get one.
I would never go off with a friend's boyfriend.
No,
Crazy.
but you know what, I know
people
a few,
do.
yeah, I know a few girls that I would not trust around my boyfriend, so I'm glad that you are one of them.
Thanks.
The biggest green flag for me when we go on dates is when someone has like planned something fun. Like I love an activity. So if someone's, oh my God, yes, I'm like, take me bowling or like mini golf or whatever.
No, that's my worst nightmare.
Is it?
That's my worst nightmare.
What do you like to do? Just sit?
I hate bowling and I hate mini golf.
Okay, well there were two examples. There's lots
the
of
cinema,
activities.
you can't talk. I want to go to the amusements because it reminds me of my childhood.
That's still an activity.
That's about it.
Right. So if you're
or like somewhere with a dog.
Yeah, fair enough. Dog walks is good. Hiking, like basically.
No, that's too activity based.
No, I know you hate moving in general, don't you?
I don't want to
put on EastEnders and give her some pizza.
I actually think I'm like a really easy person to take out.
Yes, basically. But the other thing is, you know, like when they show up and you see them for the first time, like a massive green flag for me. What I always say to my best guy friends, I'm like,
go on,
don't come in wearing like a red or a green t-shirt.
What?
I'm like, white t-shirt, white shirt, white jeans, keep it simple, keep it clean. Everybody looks good in that. Like I always really fancy men in a white t-shirt or a white shirt.
I like a man in black on black.
Oh, that's a bit gadgy, isn't it?
A bit what?
Do you not say that? Is that a Scottish word?
What does that mean?
Gadgy, like skanky.
No.
You're a gadgy.
Have you seen The Hangover in Bradley Cooper when they open the lift? He's got a black shirt on and a black suit trouser.
Well, babe, if it's on Bradley Cooper, then maybe.
Okay, yeah,
but I'm just saying typically all black's quite like, I don't know.
Oh, no, I love. Clean
I don't
cut.
know. I don't know. I also think I actually find men who wear really nice watches a bit of an ick. Because I just feel like they're into
that's like a bit of a big flex.
Yeah, it's like, mate, put your watch away. You're going to get robbed later.
I don't know. I feel like turning up in a nice car is a massive thing for me as well.
The only men who have turned up at my house in nice cars are men that I definitely do not want to date.
They're the type I would.
Yeah.
I went on a date recently and, you know, he picked me up and he opened the car door for me, got out of the car, took me to the restaurant, opened the door there, pulled out the chair there, had dinner, he paid.
Boys don't do that anymore.
Yeah, but
it doesn't happen often.
Some
not in
do,
London.
some don't. And then he dropped me home to the door.
That's very nice. I do like that behaviour.
Yeah, I do too.
It's giving old school.
Yeah, that's what I like.
Traditional vibes.
Yeah, but I like that in both sexes.
Yeah, yeah. Has a woman ever picked you up?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I love it when someone like says something quietly in your ear. Do you know
or
what?
Puts their hand on the small of your back.
Yeah.
Or grabs your hip.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Or also
grabs your hip when you're like walking down the street and you're like, oh, me in the bush.
Do you know what age appropriate really likes? It's a Scottish thing. We always say, all right, big man. So I always say, hi, big man, or hi, big boy. And he's like, yes, you can keep calling me that.
That's interesting. I like that.
He is a big boy, to be fair.
I think generally, like, a green flag for me is just communication. It goes back to the same thing. Like, being able to communicate with me about your day, your like what our plans are, all of that kind of stuff. It's a massive thing.
Yeah, I do think that's so true. What I really like is like when you're like, even before you've actually worried about something, someone reaches out and they're like, you know, when you get in your head a bit and then you get a message and they've kind of like already answered your concern before you even knew you were that concerned about it.
Love that. I think being reassured is such a good thing.
Yeah, reassurance, that's what I was looking
reassurance
for.
is massive.
Yeah, that is
even if it's not something you've asked for, I think just them understanding that that's what you're requiring.
I'm a romantic, babe. I'd like to think that you like fall in love and that's it and it lasts forever and there's none of that behavior. But the longer I'm in London, the more I'm like, the longer does this exist anymore? No, I really, really, really want to believe that it does.
I think it does somewhere, but it's just that I think we live in this age where like there's just so much choice.
Too many options. We need to move back to the countryside.
Why am I not hearing from you? I don't want a farmer.
I do. I love a farmer.
I don't. I mean, I love asparagus, but no.
Thanks for listening, guys. If you want to continue listening to us stumble our way through life, please do give us a follow.
And if you've got any outrageous stories you'd like to share with us, we would love to read them. So please give us a message.
Thanks. Bye.